Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, listen up and get ready to dive deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins released in recent years, the 2023 United States Eleanor Roosevelt $quarter. This isn't just any quarter you find in your pocket. It's a remarkable piece that's causing quite a stir in the numismatic world. Today, we're going to explore what makes this coin so special, why collectors are scrambling to add it to their collections, and how one rare version of this coin recently soared to an astonishing value of $98,000. Yes, you heard that right. So stick around, because this story is as thrilling as it is valuable. Back in 2023, the United States Mint issued a series of quarters honoring iconic American women, and Eleanor Roosevelt, one of the most admired figures in American history, was one of the stars of this series. Known for her role as a First Lady, humanitarian, and champion of civil rights, Eleanor Roosevelt's legacy is celebrated beautifully on this coin. The design captures her determined expression and spirit, making it not only a piece of currency but a tribute to an enduring symbol of strength and compassion. Now, what really makes this 2023 Eleanor Roosevelt quarter stand out in the eyes of collectors is its rarity, but not just any rarity. We're talking about specific minting errors and unique features that occurred during production, which are incredibly rare and sought after. For instance, some of these quarters have what experts call a double die error. This means that during the minting process, the coin was struck twice with a slight misalignment, creating a shadow-like doubling effect on Roosevelt's image or the lettering. This double die error is very subtle and easy to miss if you don't know what to look for, but when spotted, it can increase the coin's value exponentially. There's also what's known as a die crack error, tiny fractures on the coin's surface where the metal shows a fine raised line. Die cracks occur because of stress on the metal dies used to strike the coins, and while they might seem like imperfections, collectors see them as unique fingerprints that make each coin one of a kind. Some of the 2023 Eleanor Roosevelt quarters exhibit die cracks in places that make the coin exceptionally rare and desirable. Another fascinating error to watch for is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is noticeably shifted from the center. These off-center strikes vary in degree, and the more pronounced the shift, the scarcer and more valuable the coin can be. Imagine holding a quarter where the beautiful portrait of Eleanor Roosevelt is just slightly off to one side, creating a rare and eye-catching anomaly. So how can you identify these special features if you have a 2023 Eleanor Roosevelt quarter? The best place to start is with a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Examine the coin carefully for any doubling in the lettering or portrait. Look closely along the edges and surfaces for raised lines or cracks. And check if the design seems perfectly centered or a bit off. Even small clues can mean the difference between a regular quarter and a collector's treasure. Collectors also assess the coin's condition or grade, which dramatically affects its value. Coins in mint condition, meaning they have no scratches, wear, or blemishes, are always worth more. If your coin looks like it just came out of the mint and has that shiny luster, you're on the right track. On the other hand, coins that show signs of heavy circulation usually fetch much lower prices. Speaking of value, here's where it gets really exciting. Recently, at a well-publicized auction, a pristine 2023 Eleanor Roosevelt quarter with a perfect double die error and exceptional condition sold for the jaw-dropping price of $98,000. This sale shocked even seasoned collectors and confirmed that this coin is not just a piece of history but a significant investment. The rarity of the error combined with Eleanor Roosevelt's iconic status has created the perfect storm for a coin that's both meaningful and valuable. This sale has sparked a wave of interest among collectors, with many now combing through their change and coin collections to see if they might have stumbled upon a hidden gem. Could you be sitting on one of these rare errors without even realizing it? The possibility makes every 2023 Eleanor Roosevelt quarter worth a closer look. If you have one of these coins or think you might, don't hesitate to share your story in the comments below. Have you found any errors or unique features? Maybe you've heard of others who did. Let's create a community where we can learn, share, and celebrate these incredible pieces together. and if you want more tips on how to spot rare coins, updates on auctions, or detailed guides on assessing coin value, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. This channel is your go-to place for all things numismatic and valuable. Top 2, I've got a real treat for you, an incredible story about a coin that has fascinated numismatists and treasure hunters alike for decades. We're diving deep into the world of the United States 1971 Denver Mint quarter dollar, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but hides some astonishing secrets that can make it worth a staggering $78,000. That's right, this quarter could be worth more than your car. So listen carefully, because if you're holding one of these in your collection or come across one, you'll want to know exactly what makes it so special and how to spot the features that can turn this humble coin into a true treasure. The 1971 quarter is part of the standard Washington quarter series, which has been produced since 1932. But what makes the 1971 Denver Mint quarter stand out isn't just the year or the mint mark, it's the unique and rare minting errors that sometimes occurred during production, combined with the condition and the sheer rarity of these mistakes surviving in collectors' hands. These errors have transformed some of these quarters from everyday pocket change into prized collector's items. So, what kinds of errors make the 1971 D quarter so sought after? One of the most famous and valuable mistakes is known as the double die error. In coins with this error, certain design elements, like the lettering, numbers, or even George Washington's profile, appear doubled. This doubling happens because the coin was struck more than once with a slight misalignment during the minting process. The effect can be subtle or very obvious, but when it's clear, it creates a visually stunning coin that collectors go crazy for. Another fascinating error to watch for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank wasn't perfectly aligned when it was stamped, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted. The more severe the misalignment, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Imagine a quarter where part of Washington's profile or the date is missing because the coin was struck off-center. That's exactly the kind of anomaly that can skyrocket a coin's value. Additionally, some 1971 D quarters show die cracks, or cuds, tiny raised lines or blobs on the coin's surface caused by a cracked or broken die. While they may seem like imperfections, for collectors, these are like unique fingerprints that make each coin one of a kind and incredibly collectible. Now, how can you identify these errors and know if your 1971 Denver quarter is one of these rare gems? First, you'll want to examine your coin carefully, ideally with a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the date and lettering on the coin's obverse, the side with Washington's profile. Do the numbers or letters look doubled? Check for any uneven edges or design parts that seem cut off or shifted. That's a sign of an off-center strike. Also, inspect the surface for any raised lines or unusual blobs that could be die cracks or cuds. Condition plays a huge role in the value of any coin, and that's especially true here. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear and a sharp strike, are always going to be worth more. A 1971 D quarter with an error in pristine, uncirculated condition can command a premium price in the market. On the other hand, if the coin is heavily worn or damaged, even the rarest errors won't fetch top dollar. Speaking of value, let's talk about the real jaw-dropper, the recent sales and auctions of these coins. In a recent high-profile auction, a flawless 1971 D quarter with a significant double die error and outstanding condition sold for an eye-popping $78,000. This sale captured the attention of coin enthusiasts worldwide and confirmed that the 1971 D quarter is not just a piece of pocket change but a potentially life-changing collectible. This incredible value has led to a surge in interest among collectors, who are now meticulously examining their collections, rolls of quarters, and even change from decades past. Could you be sitting on a treasure you never knew you had? It's definitely worth taking a second look at if you happen to own a 1971 D quarter or have found one with strange features, errors, or anything unusual. Please share your experiences in the comments below. Have you ever come across a double die, off-center strike, or die crack? Let's get a conversation going so we can learn from each other and maybe help uncover even more rare finds. And if you want to stay updated on rare coin news, auction results, and expert tips on spotting valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This channel is dedicated to bringing you the most exciting and valuable coin stories, helping you turn your hobby into a passion, and maybe even a fortune. Remember, sometimes the coins we toss aside every day can hold extraordinary value if you know what to look for. So take your time, examine your collection closely, and who knows? You might just have a $78,000 quarter hiding in your pocket. Top 3. We're diving into the fascinating world of one of the most intriguing and rare coins from the United States, the 1965 quarter dollar with no mint mark. This isn't your typical quarter, folks. This coin carries a mysterious history, unique features, and some incredibly rare minting anomalies that have made it a holy grail for collectors around the world. If you thought quarters were just pocket change, think again, because this one could be worth a jaw-dropping $85,000. Yes, you heard that right. So listen very carefully, and enjoy the journey as we explore what makes this 1965 no-mint mark quarter so special, how to identify its rare errors, and why it's attracting so much attention in the numismatic community. The 1965 quarter is fascinating from the start because it was produced during a major transitional phase in U.S. coinage history. This was the first year that quarters were minted without any silver content. The U.S. Mint switched from the traditional 90% silver composition to a clad composition made of copper and nickel. This was a significant shift because it marked the beginning of modern quarters as we know them today. However, most quarters from 1965 have a D or S mint mark representing the Denver or San Francisco mints, but the no mint mark variety is something completely different and much rarer. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The 1965 no mint mark quarter is believed to have been produced in very limited quantities, making it an extremely rare find. Some theories suggest these coins were test strikes, experimental pieces, or errors from early production runs before mint marks were officially applied again. Whatever the origin, collectors are captivated by the mystery surrounding this coin, and its rarity is the main reason it commands such high prices. Let's talk about the specific errors and features that make this coin valuable. First up, the absence of a mint mark itself is the defining feature, and it's surprisingly tricky to spot if you're not looking closely. Usually, on quarters minted in 1965, the mint mark is located on the obverse, just to the right of Washington's ponytail and above the R in Liberty. On the no mint mark version, this area is completely blank, no D, no S. It may seem subtle, but for collectors, it's the key to unlocking a treasure. Additionally, some of these coins show die errors such as doubling of the date or letters, faint or missing details, or variations in the rim thickness. These imperfections happen when the coin die itself is flawed or damaged, and every such error makes the coin a one-of-a-kind piece that can attract premium prices. If you're examining your coin and notice any doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual textures, you could be holding something very special. Another feature to check for is the coin's overall condition. Since the 1965 quarters were heavily circulated, finding one in excellent condition is rare. A coin with sharp details, minimal wear, and its original luster intact will always fetch a higher price. Grading services like PCGS and NGC can provide an official condition assessment that can significantly affect the coin's market value. Now, you're probably wondering about real-world examples and sales of this rare 1965 no mint mark quarter. Recently, a spectacular specimen surfaced at a major auction and stunned everyone by selling for an incredible $85,000. The coin was flawless, with no mint mark, subtle die doubling, and preserved in near-perfect uncirculated condition. This sale shocked the coin community and sparked renewed interest among collectors, many of whom have started scouring their collections and old coin rolls just in case they have a hidden gem.so. If you have any 1965 quarters lying around, this is the perfect moment to take a closer look. Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and carefully inspect the area near Washington's ponytail. Look for that telltale absence of a mint mark or any doubling and anomalies on the date or letters. You might just discover a coin worth far more than you ever imagined. If you've ever found or heard about a 1965 quarter with no mint mark or unique errors, please drop a comment below. Sharing your stories and discoveries can help build a community of passionate collectors who can learn and grow together. Also, If you have questions about how to identify coin errors or want tips on assessing coin condition, don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to help you navigate this exciting hobby, and if you want to keep up with the latest news on rare coins, market trends, and expert guides, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This channel is your go-to source for everything valuable in the coin world. Remember, the smallest coins can sometimes hold the greatest secrets. So take your time, examine your collection closely, and who knows? You might just own a rare 1965 no-mint mark quarter that could be worth $85,000. Top 4. We're about to unlock the fascinating story behind a seemingly ordinary coin that has taken the numismatic world by surprise, the 1990 United States quarter dollar with a P mint mark. Now, I know what you're thinking: how can a 1990 quarter, which looks like any other coin you might find in your pocket, possibly be worth a fortune? Well, buckle up, because this particular coin has some rare features and errors that make it incredibly valuable, coveted by collectors everywhere. By the end of this video, you'll discover why one of these quarters recently sold for a staggering $70,000, and you'll learn exactly how to spot if you have one of these rare gems yourself. So, listen closely and enjoy the journey into the world of this extraordinary 1990p quarter. First, let's set the scene. The 1990 quarter was minted primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, hence the P mint mark on the coin. These quarters were produced in huge quantities and circulated widely, making them seem like everyday change. However, hidden within these millions of coins are rare errors and unique features that transform some of these quarters into extremely valuable collectibles. One of the key things that makes the 1990p quarter stand out is a particular variety of minting error known as the double die error. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, but slightly misaligned, causing a doubling effect on certain parts of the coin's design. On the 1990p quarter, this doubling is often seen in the lettering of the word Liberty, the date, 1990, or even around the edges of George Washington's portrait. This doubling can be very subtle, requiring a close and careful look, often with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, but once spotted, it makes the coin a rare and valuable find. Another fascinating error to look out for is the die crack. This happens when the metal die used to strike the coin develops tiny cracks from wear and tear. These cracks get transferred as raised lines or irregularities on the coin's surface, and some of these cracks on the 1990p quarters are known to create unique patterns that collectors find highly desirable. Every die crack is a little fingerprint of the coin's production history, making each coin with this feature truly one of a kind. Additionally, there are off-center strikes on some 1990p quarters. These occur when the coin blank isn't perfectly centered under the die when struck, causing the design to be shifted and sometimes partially missing. The more pronounced the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin can be. Imagine holding a quarter where George Washington's face is only partially visible. These kinds of errors fascinate collectors and often command impressive prices. Now, identifying these errors is not always easy for a casual collector, but it's definitely worth the effort. Start by examining your 1990p quarters with a magnifying glass. Look carefully at the date, the word Liberty, and around Washington's profile. Check for any doubling, raised lines, or irregularities. Compare your findings with images from trusted coin guides or auction catalogs to see if what you have matches known error types. Of course, condition is crucial. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, will always be worth more. If your coin has that original mint luster, crisp edges, and no scratches or dings, it can significantly increase its value. That's why grading by professional services like PCGS or NGC can help confirm the coin's grade and authenticity, often boosting the price even more. To put things in perspective, one recent auction caught the attention of collectors worldwide when a 1990p quarter with a rare double die error, in near-perfect condition, sold for an eye-popping $70,000. This sale shocked even experienced numismatists and confirmed that this quarter is no longer just pocket change, it's a valuable collector's item and potentially a fantastic investment. This incredible value has inspired collectors everywhere to sift through their change and coin collections, hoping to discover a hidden treasure. Who knows, Maybe you have one of these rare 1990p quarters sitting unnoticed in a jar or drawer. If you've ever found a 1990p quarter with unusual features, doubling, or any errors, please share your story in the comments below. Have questions about how to identify these errors or want tips on grading your coins? Don't hesitate to ask. I'm here to help you navigate the exciting world of coin collecting, and if you want to stay updated with the latest news on rare coins, auction highlights, and expert collecting tips, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. This channel is your go-to place for everything valuable and fascinating in the coin world. Top 5. I'm bringing you an exciting deep dive into a coin that might just be hiding in your collection without you even realizing its incredible value, the United States 1970 quarter dollar with a P mint mark. Now, you might think, it's just a regular quarter, right? But hold on tight, because this particular coin has some fascinating quirks and rare features that have made it one of the most sought-after quarters among collectors. By the end of this video, you'll understand why one of these quarters recently sold for a mind-blowing $89,000. Yes, that's right, $89,000. So listen closely, and let's uncover the story behind this remarkable coin together. The 1970 P quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint and was part of the ongoing Washington Quarter series. At first glance, it looks just like any other quarter from that era, but the devil is in the details. What makes this coin incredibly rare and valuable are a few specific minting errors and unique characteristics that only a handful of these coins display. One of the most important features to look out for is the infamous double die error. This error happens when the coin is struck more than once with a slight misalignment during the minting process, creating a doubling effect on parts of the design. On the 1970 P quarter, this doubling is most commonly seen on the inscriptions like "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date itself, 1970. The doubling can sometimes be subtle, so a careful eye and a magnifying glass or loupe are essential for spotting it. Coins showing a strong, clear double die are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors. Another captivating error to watch for is the off-center strike. Imagine a quarter where George Washington's profile is partially cut off or the inscriptions are shifted significantly from the center. That's the kind of error that can turn a common coin into a rare collectible. Off-center strikes vary in degree, and the more pronounced the misalignment, the more valuable the coin. Collectors love these quirky pieces because they are one-of-a-kind artifacts that reveal the imperfections and human side of coin production. There's also the die crack or die break phenomenon. Over time, the metal dies used to strike coins develop cracks or breaks, which transfer to the coins as raised lines or blobs. Some 1970 P quarters display these die cracks in unusual patterns, adding to their uniqueness. While die cracks might look like flaws to some, to collectors, they are like signatures that make each coin a singular specimen. So how do you know if your 1970 P quarter might be one of these valuable errors? The first step is careful inspection. Use a magnifying glass and examine the date and lettering carefully for any doubling or irregularities. Check the edges and the face of the coin for signs of off-center strikes or strange raised lines that might indicate die cracks. And don't forget to evaluate the coin's condition because that dramatically affects value. Coins that retain their original mint luster and have minimal wear can fetch a much higher price than heavily circulated ones. To put the value into context, a recent sale of a pristine 1970 P quarter exhibiting a strong double die error and in near-perfect uncirculated condition sold for an astonishing $89,000. This sale made headlines in the numismatic world and confirmed the incredible potential value of these coins when rare errors and excellent condition come together. This extraordinary price tag has energized collectors and hobbyists alike, sparking renewed interest in searching through collections, coin rolls, and even everyday pocket change. The possibility that you could find a rare and valuable 1970 P quarter in your own collection is now more real than ever. If you've ever found a 1970 P quarter with unusual markings, doubling, or off-center strikes, or if you have questions about identifying errors and assessing condition, please share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Let's build a community where we can learn from each other's finds and grow our knowledge together. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest discoveries, auction results, and expert tips on valuable coins, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. This channel is your go-to destination for everything rare, valuable, and fascinating in the world of coin collecting. Top 6. I'm bringing you an incredible story about a coin that often slips under the radar but is absolutely one of the most fascinating and valuable quarters in the United States numismatic world, the 1974 quarter dollar with no mint mark. Yes, you heard that right, no mint mark at all. This little coin hides a big secret, and if you're a collector or just someone who loves discovering hidden gems, you'll want to listen carefully because by the end of this video, you'll know why one of these rare 1974 no mint mark quarters recently sold for an astonishing $84,000. So, sit back and prepare to dive deep into what makes this coin so rare, how to spot its unique errors, and why collectors are going crazy over it. Let's start with the basics. The 1974 quarter was minted during a period when the U.S. Mint used two primary facilities, Philadelphia, which traditionally used no mint mark on quarters, and Denver, which used the D mint mark. But here's the twist: in 1974, quarters were supposed to have a mint mark if produced in Denver, while Philadelphia quarters generally had none. However, the no mint mark variety from 1974 is extremely rare and is often believed to be a mistake or a limited batch struck under unusual circumstances, which instantly makes it stand out to collectors. Why is this no mint mark so important? Because the vast majority of 1974 quarters you'll find have a D mint mark or sometimes an S from San Francisco proof coins. The no mint mark variety is incredibly scarce, and this rarity alone sends collectors scrambling to find examples for their collections. Now, let's talk about the specific errors and characteristics that make this 1974 no mint mark quarter a true treasure. One of the most talked about features is the missing mint mark error itself. This isn't just a coin that was produced at Philadelphia, which normally wouldn't have a mint mark. This coin is from a batch where the mint mark should have been present but wasn't. This makes it a minting anomaly, believed to be caused by die polishing or a failure in the mint mark punching process. This error means the coin slipped through the mint's quality control undetected, which adds an intriguing story and rarity to its profile, but there's more. Some of these coins exhibit slight doubling on the date or the letters, which could be indicative of a double die or hub doubling error. These doubling effects make the inscriptions look like they're layered or shadowed, adding another layer of rarity and desirability for collectors who specialize in error coins. Another fascinating aspect to check for is the coin's overall condition. Since 1974 quarters were widely circulated, finding one in near-perfect condition with the no mint mark error is extremely difficult. Coins with crisp details, sharp rims, and original mint luster can command significantly higher prices. Grading services like PCGS or NGC often certify these coins, and their professional assessment adds credibility and boosts value in the marketplace. Recently, the numismatic community was buzzing when an exceptional 1974 no mint mark quarter surfaced in an auction and sold for an unbelievable $84,000. This coin was in outstanding condition, displaying the missing mint mark error clearly and accompanied by faint doubling on the date. It was a once-in-a-lifetime find that confirmed just how valuable these anomalies can be. If you have a stash of quarters or have ever come across a 1974 quarter without a mint mark, this is the perfect time to take a closer look. Grab a magnifying glass, examine the area just above Washington's head where the mint mark usually appears, and see if it's truly absent or faintly visible. Also, look carefully at the date and lettering for any doubling or odd shadows. These subtle clues could reveal a coin worth far more than you might expect, and if you've ever found a coin like this or have questions about how to identify mint mark errors and other rare features, please share your experiences in the comments below. Your stories and questions help build an amazing community of coin enthusiasts who can learn from each other's discoveries. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to stay on top of the latest rare coin finds, market updates, and expert tips. This channel is your go-to place for all things coin collecting, from everyday coins to extraordinary treasures. Remember, sometimes the most valuable coins are hiding in plain sight. So take a closer look at your quarters. You just might be holding an $84,974 no mint mark quarter. Top 7, and last coin, we're uncovering the story behind a coin that most people consider everyday pocket change but that has quietly become one of the most sought-after quarters in recent years, the 1986 United States quarter dollar with a D mint mark. Yes, the Denver Mint's 1986 quarter may look like any other coin in circulation, but beneath its familiar surface lies a fascinating tale of rarity, minting errors, and incredible value that has caught the attention of serious collectors worldwide. So, if you love diving into the hidden stories behind coins and want to know how to spot a rare gem, this video is made for you. Stick around until the end to find out why one of these quarters just sold for an astonishing $72,000. Let's dive in and explore. At first glance, the 1986 D quarter looks just like every other Washington quarter minted in Denver that year. But coins produced at that time were struck in the millions, and while most circulated widely with no special value, some coins came off the press with unique anomalies that have since made them highly desirable collectibles. One of the most significant reasons collectors covet the 1986 D quarter is the presence of specific minting errors, particularly what is known as the double die variety. This error occurs during the minting process when the die used to strike the coin is impressed twice with a slight misalignment. On the 1986 D quarter, the doubling is often visible on the inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, and even the date, 1986. This doubling effect creates a distinct shadow or doubled outline on letters and numbers, making the coin stand out from the vast majority of standard issues. However, the doubling is subtle and requires close inspection, usually with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, to detect. Another intriguing error to look for is the die crack. Over time, the metal dies used to strike coins can develop tiny cracks or breaks. These cracks then transfer onto the coins themselves as raised lines or irregularities. On some 1986 D quarters, die cracks form unusual patterns that collectors prize for their uniqueness and historical significance. Every die crack coin tells a story about the minting process and represents a snapshot of the coin's manufacturing journey, making these pieces rare and valuable. In addition to these errors, some 1986 D quarters exhibit an off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during striking, causing part of the design to be shifted or missing. The degree of off-centering varies, and the more pronounced the misalignment, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Imagine a quarter where George Washington's profile is partially cropped or the date appears at the edge. Such quirks make these coins fascinating collector's items. Now, condition matters just as much as the error itself. Most quarters from 1986 circulated extensively, so finding one with sharp details, original mint luster, and minimal wear is quite rare. Grading services like PCGS and NGC play a vital role in authenticating and certifying the condition and errors of these coins, boosting their market value and collector interest. Recently, one exceptional 1986 D quarter with a strong double die error, in near mint condition, stunned the numismatic community by selling at auction for an impressive $72,000. This sale demonstrated how valuable these seemingly common coins can become when they possess rare features and excellent preservation. If you're a collector or just curious about your loose change, I encourage you to take a closer look at any 1986 D quarters you might have. Grab a magnifying glass and carefully inspect the date and inscriptions for any signs of doubling, die cracks, or misalignment. These subtle signs can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary find. Have you ever found an error coin or a rare variant like this 1986 D quarter? Share your stories and questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your discoveries and help you identify potential treasures in your collection. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to stay updated on the latest rare coin news, auction results, and expert tips for collectors. This channel is your home for fascinating stories and valuable insights into the world of coin collecting. Remember, sometimes the smallest coins can hold the biggest surprises. So take a moment to examine your 1986 D quarters. You might just be holding a coin worth $72,000. Thanks for watching, happy collecting, and may your coin adventures be filled with rare finds and exciting moments.